911. What's your emergency?
I think someone is outside my house. They're not moving. They're just watching me. Wait, no. They're closer now.
Hello? Can you hear me? I think...
That was the last time anyone heard from him.
His name was Daniel Carter, a 34-year-old man living alone in a quiet suburban neighborhood just outside Riverside County, California. To anyone who knew him, Daniel was ordinary. He worked a remote job, rarely went out, and kept mostly to himself. But there was one thing neighbors would later remember. Daniel had recently started complaining that someone had been watching him. At first, no one took it seriously. They thought it was stress, or maybe just paranoia. But in the days leading up to that call, Daniel's behavior began to change. He stopped leaving his house. His curtains were always closed, even during the day. And late at night, neighbors reported seeing him standing by the window, staring into the darkness outside. According to phone records, Daniel had tried calling a friend earlier that same night, but the call lasted only a few seconds and ended without a word. Then, at exactly 2:17 a.m., he dialed 911, and what happened next would leave investigators with more questions than answers. When officers arrived at Daniel Carter's house, the front door was unlocked. Inside, nothing appeared disturbed. No signs of forced entry, no signs of a struggle, but Daniel was gone. His phone was still connected to the 911 call log, but it wasn't in the house. It was found outside, near the edge of the yard. Screen cracked, still powered on. The audio was corrupted. But investigators were able to recover fragments. In the background, there was breathing. Not just Daniel's, something else, faint, uneven, as if someone was standing very close to him. Then, a second sound, a low scraping noise moving across the ground, slowly getting closer. Officers searched the property, the yard, the street, nearby houses, but there were no clear footprints, no drag marks, nothing that explained where he went. Neighbors were questioned the next morning. One reported hearing a strange noise around 2 a.m., like something moving, but not walking. Another claimed they saw a shadow standing near Daniel's house, completely still, for several minutes, but when they looked again, it was gone. Security cameras from nearby homes were checked. Most showed nothing unusual. No person entering or leaving the property, no vehicle passing by, but one camera captured something investigators couldn't explain. At 2:16 a.m., just 1 minute before the 911 call, a dark shape appears near the edge of the frame. It doesn't move like a person, it doesn't cast a clear shadow, and then it simply disappears. No transition, no exit, just gone. Inside the house, investigators found something else. Daniel's computer was still on. On the screen, a search history. Someone watching me at night. What to do if someone is outside your house. How to tell if you're being followed. He knew something was wrong. He just didn't know what it was. Days passed, then weeks. No sightings, no new evidence. No trace of Daniel Carter was ever found. At first, investigators believed this was a simple missing person case, but the more they looked, the less it made sense. There were no signs of a break-in, no evidence of a struggle, and no clear way for Daniel to simply disappear. Then came the details that didn't fit. The phone, found outside, still active long after the call ended. The strange audio capturing something that didn't sound human, and the security footage showing a shape that couldn't be identified. So what really happened that night? One theory suggests that Daniel was suffering from paranoia, that he imagined someone watching him and ran into the darkness, never to return. But that doesn't explain the second breathing or the shadow captured on camera. Another theory points to something more real, that someone was there, watching him, waiting. But if that's true, how did they leave no trace, no footprints, no vehicle, no evidence at all? And then there's a third possibility, one that investigators never confirmed, but never ruled out either. That what Daniel saw wasn't a person at all. That something was already there before he made the call, watching, waiting, and when he finally noticed, it was already too late. Because if you listen carefully to the recovered audio, there's a moment just before the call ends where Daniel stops speaking completely, as if something was standing right in front of him, and whatever it was, it didn't want him to finish that call. Daniel Carter was never found. No trace, no explanation, no closure. His case remains open, but unanswered. The house still stands exactly as it was that night. Quiet, empty, untouched. Some say whatever he saw wasn't meant to be seen. Others believe he was never alone in that house. And a few think something followed him long before he made that call. Because sometimes the most disturbing part isn't what we know, it's what we don't. What really happened at 2:17 a.m. may never be answered. And somewhere in the silence of that empty house, something might still be there. This is Dark Depth Archive. If you're drawn to the unknown, the unexplained, and the stories that never truly end, subscribe and explore deeper.